Join Divine Oracle readings, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. Your hosts, Gypsy Lady Eva and Brother Chris, discuss spiritual topics and current events.
All right, well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back, and welcome, Eva. How has your day been?
Hello. Well, you'll notice the bald spots from where I pulled my hair out. It's been hectic.
Is that what I'm looking at, though? Right when I'm looking right across at you? It's actually all those
Yeah,
bald spots? Oh, my gosh.
see right there and right there. Just been a lot of medical stuff this week. I don't know why, but it had to do with the nurses coming and doing the wound work and social worker and making sure that I'm okay. And then they find out my mother's 93 and it's like, well, she needs a social worker too. And I mean, it's just been, it's like, okay, that's it. I'm going to go to Canada.
Well, you're welcome anytime over
Northern
here.
Canada.
Well, let you know the
Way
winters
north.
the winters up there get pretty bad, but down here, they've been really hot today. Actually, even yesterday. For our American viewers, here it actually in my area of Ontario, Canada, it's been a high of 95, so that's roughly 35 actually Celsius compared to Fahrenheit. And what was it like today for you?
Here in the thumb of Michigan, it's been around 89. I think the other day it did get up to 91. So yeah, we've been schwitzing in the heat too.
Oh, but it's gorgeous though. But I know next week though it's supposed to drop down a little bit, which is gonna be good.
Please.
So
And we're
looks like
supposed to get some rain.
yeah.
Please.
Well, what they're saying though is actually it's a 40% chance over here on the other side of the river, and it's supposed to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday that they're calling for. But yes, but especially with what happened recently in Toronto, right? They did catch that guy that I was telling you about yesterday. For the reviewers, actually, American over there in the States, Toronto's going through right now for a new mayor. There was a gentleman, though, that actually was threatening by shooting the candidates altogether. And last night,
Could you send them down here and get some of our congressmen who really do need a good scare to make them real wake up? Sorry.
Yes.
I promise not to talk more politics. I'm not going to do that.
Well, it's true though, because a lot of people look at us Canadians, right, and they think that we're always polite. But the thing though is we're really not, to a certain extent. We'll be polite to you guys, but then also right when we turn your back, no. But yeah, tonight though we're gonna be talking. Thanks to one of our viewers, the Queen of Ooga Booga. For most people though that know her personally, her name is Sally Diane. She does do shows actually on Sunday nights at 9 o'clock right here on YouTube. So we do encourage you actually to tune in. Eva and I were good friends actually with the host of that show, the Queen of Ooga Booga. She's actually suggested for one great topic tonight. And Eva, if you want to let our viewers know what that topic is.
The idea of animal spirits or ghosts, and what we had talked about, what happens after we leave, what happens to pets after they leave.
Yeah.
And I am a firm believer that they do come back.
Yeah, that's a good question though. What does happen to our pets after when they do pass away? So many people do believe though that they do come back. It's a large handful of people that do believe in that. I know both of us, we both have had experiences. So tonight what we're going to do is we're going to sort of talk about some of the experiences that we've had and also with some other great stuff to do with animal spirits. So go right ahead, Eva.
Well, I had a cat. Her name was Mein kleiner Katz, which is German for my little cat. And she was actually she was part Maine Coon, but for whatever reason she was the runt of the litter. And I took her when she was just a baby kitty, just barely leaving her mama. And I had her for 22 years. So she was with me for a very long time. And it was very devastating to me to lose her. And but old age, like in people, it catches up with them. And after she passed, I have had experiences where a cat will jump on my bed. There's no cat there. Um, and I have felt a cat walk on my bed and there's no cat there. And I know it's her. I know she has uh, made her presence known to me, that she is still watching after me like good Mama Kitty would. And I always say thank you because I appreciate it. And but I've had a couple other experiences. I had a friend staying here and said, I know in the morning, it was in the morning, and she says, I know you don't have a dog, but I heard a dog with, there's only, it's a sound you can't imitate. It's a dog's nail on a hard floor.
Yeah.
And it makes a certain noise. And the same thing with the tags on the chest. And she said, I heard a dog walking in the house. It came out of the living room to the back rooms where the bedrooms are. And it's like she walked to each bedroom, or the dog walked to each bedroom, and then just kind of the sound just disappeared. And I said that had to be Lady Red, who was a dog of ours. And we had her for 16 years. And at night, she would periodically, she would lay in the living room because it was cooler. She would get up, walk to each bedroom to make sure everybody was okay, and then go back and lay down.
Yeah.
So those are pretty drastic or pretty interesting experiences that I've had with pets. And I've heard other people tell other stories about what happened with their pets.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Your turn.
Yeah. So with myself though, like I grew up with dogs basically all my life, right? But our last family dog though, um, the moderator, even for the show, even the host, which is for Haunting Live podcast that we're affiliated with, I got to meet this dog closer to the end. Actually, the dog's life. The dog's name was Sandy Patty, and so Sandy Patty was a blind dog, pure white. It was actually a cockapoo. And was those. There's times though that I can actually be able to sense the presence of Sandy Patty around me. Now, since Sandy Patty was a blind dog, whenever I came in the room, Sandy knew I was actually in the room. Sandy would actually kind of avoid my family to a certain extent. But again, that was any time I came in the room, Sandy was there. So yeah, there's times though actually I feel Sandy around me. Plus, also, we used to actually have a former cat. Speedy was his name. He was such an awesome boy. Now, I was the last person with him before they took him and actually put him down. But there's a lot of times, so I'm actually sensing though that the cat's also with us. We do have a cat that lives with us. He's now a big baby boy. Especially he's laying actually on the floor, pretty much close to me. But he's spread out, not like a bun, but he's spread out like a little bit weird way. But the thing is, the two of them get along. So with Speedy, though, I have his ashes, and at times I would take his ashes out. Our cat that we have right now looks at the ashes and walks away. So basically, though, is our cat also be able picks up actually the energy. Now, going with that though, animals, ghosts are actually, or spirits are actually very, very unusual type. It could be a dog, it could be a cat, it could be like a lizard, it could be anything really. But their type of ghost spirits are actually a lot lower. than what human spirits are, which I found which was pretty unusual. I guess so that for us, so basically more in tune with the spiritual actually of animals, even with the spirit world, that we can be able to pick up a little more sensibility. So
Well, and I think too, when you have a pet, I've talked with different spiritual people, and a lot of times they say that, and let me rephrase that. I've talked with a lot of different spiritual people that have said that pets have a higher energy or higher uh, energy frequency. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And they because of that, they are more likely to do something where they come back, as opposed to a wild animal, because they have not had that human connection. And
Yeah.
by connecting with the humans, they are given they get a higher frequency, a higher energy level, however you want to put it. And that's why I believe they do come back as spirit or ghost or phenomena of some sort.
Yes. Yes. It's like like what you were saying though. Some of the familiar sounds that some people hear those, like the jingle of the collars, is what they're hearing. Right, they're hearing actually the throbbing sounds actually sometimes of a tail banging against something. There's also the faint bark, cry, or whimp, so that they do. And also the like one other thing though that we experienced, Trevor and I, we've experienced ever since we lost our former cat, is we have a garbage can. So it's one of those handle ones that handles fold over the top lid. We can actually hear the handle at times moving. Right, so that there's one of the faint sounds though that we get, right, and we can tell though that our former cat's with us, and the handle doesn't move, because I was there the one day, and I was standing beside the garbage can, and all of a sudden the sound was there, and I was looking down at the garbage can, and the handle did not move at all. We've even had people over here that are not in tune into the spiritual community. They've even heard the sound, and they're like, "Okay, well, what's going on with your garbage?" So,
well, yeah, I've never had that kind of experience. Excuse me. Other than, like I said, the dog walking around the house. Now, a friend of mine would bring her dog out with her, and Cameron and Coco, which was another dog that we had, would play. And it was like these two were like brothers, I guess you could say, brother and sister, siblings type thing. They got along very, very well. And there were times when Cameron, you could watch him, and he would move his head as he's watching something walk by, and then he'd get all excited and happy, and he'd just go running, but there was nothing there.
yeah,
Nothing there. I mean, you couldn't see anything, and it's like, well, Coco's here.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
spirit recognizes spirit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
I know
go
what
ahead.
you're saying. Like, I know what you're saying, but yeah, there is like so many different stuff. Like even there's like smells, so that trigger, especially right when there's pets that have actually passed away. You can actually be able to hear, like get that smell. There's memories actually out of the blue though that come right to you. Sometimes though that they say though that the animal spirits are there. There's songs though that do trigger, actually from the animals. Physical touching. Because that's what you were saying earlier, right? Is so that you can actually be able to sense actually the like a cat that passed away, like you can actually be able to sense that the cat's there with you by the touch.
Mhm.
The other thing though is like the temperature change though is well known. You can just feel like that energy that's right around you, right? You're like, well, what is that small little ball of energy? Though that's not feeling right. So there's quite a bit of things, and one of them though that was pretty cool though is dreams. Now with the dreams though is basically those people do actually have dreams so that their pets there with them actually in the dream, but the pet though is not normal. Now what I mean by not normal though is so that the pet's actually communicating directly to the owner. The owner actually in the dream can actually understand the pet talking compared to what I can hear actually on Turtle Island. So
I have never experienced that.
no, okay.
That's a new one. I've never experienced that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just, that just I'd love to have that experience. Maybe I will yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh there have been time. This is kind of difficult in a way because Twina was very, very close to me.
Yeah.
I have had experiences where I have felt the brush of fur against my hand.
Yeah.
So there is that other, but that's about it. I've never heard the meowing or a barking type thing.
Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of limited. I don't know. Maybe I'm not as
Yeah.
spiritual as I thought I was.
well, don't forget that we're actually for us within the spiritual community. There is not community, but spiritual world. We're all at different levels, right? We're
That's
more
true. That's
some of
true.
us are more attuned than others. Um, Now, and one other one. So there's 17 altogether, but I'm just going through some of the listing. One of them, though, is actually objects actually in the house moving. Now, sometimes there'll
What?
be objects in the house moving.
Oh, okay.
All
I
right.
thought
So
you said house bathing, and I'm like, what?
no,
I'm
it's okay. Sorry, it's all right. So yeah,
Well,
object.
right now, for some reason, the sound is not very loud,
Okay.
and so I'm missing. Us old folks, we get hard of hearing there.
So yeah.
But
Okay.
uh,
So again,
yeah.
though, like objects, which are like former pet objects moving. So
Um, one of the experiences that has stuck in my mind for many years, a friend of, well, I shouldn't say a friend, but it was part of the Michigan Metaphysical Society, MMS. And there was a lot of people in that I didn't really know, but I would, because of the meetings and stuff. Anyway, there was one woman, we got to talking about the same thing, and she said that she had a parrot. The family had a parrot, and parrots have extremely long lives for animals. I mean, they can live up to 80 years. So this parrot, she knew from the time she was first able to remember things up until she was, I think said she was 14, 15, 16 in that age group. And the parrot finally passed away. And she was very, very distraught about it. And she said she how did that go? She laid out on the cupboard some of the favorite seeds that this parrot liked. And the next morning it was gone. Well, she said something to her mother, and her mother said, well, maybe your father swept it all up. So she thought, I'm going to put it someplace where nobody will see it. So she did it in her room behind a picture.
yeah.
And the next morning, the seeds were gone.
Okay.
And that just, wow, that's kind of neat. Well, then she went on and she said she was at college and she kept hearing this, which was kind of the sound that the parrot made to get attention.
Yeah.
And she kind of went around the dorm to find out if somebody had a parrot. No one had a parrot. And finally, the one time she heard the cawing, and she says, "Bird, what do you want?" And she never heard it again. But she felt his presence. And I thought, okay, so even parrots and other animals do come back and look after their people.
Yeah.
I just thought that was fascinating.
That's cool. We'll be right back though. We'll be back after these messages.
At any time, so that's why our Etsy store is always open. Get your paranormal items from cleansing to protection to attraction.
Why do you seem so scared? All I wanted to do was play with you. Please come and play with me. I'm so lonely. You're not afraid of the dark, are you? Don't be afraid.
Why not check out the Stratford Perth Museum for the Indigenous Arts and Craft Market for celebration with the Cedar Hill Drumming Corps and dancers on September 10th from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. Come on out and enjoy yourself.
And now, back to our program.
Alrighty. So yeah, we're back from the commercial and we do say thanks very much. Tonight, also what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of the signs though that you can tell your pets come to visit you. Some of them though are you hear their like what Eva was saying though is pet walking. You can actually be able to sense that or hear that, and that's one thing that you're sharing earlier about your friend actually be able to pick up. There's a smell also, right? Have you actually had anything though that you could smell your cat or your past dog?
Not really. Not really.
Okay.
No, I can't say that there was. And I know Lady Red had a distinct smell because she was part hound, and that's a smell that the hound smell is can be very strong, but I never noticed that. Just
Okay.
her walking. Click, click,
Okay,
click, click.
right. Yeah, the other ones I've got though actually on this list though is you hear their collar,
Uh-huh.
right? The
The
next
tags
one
on their collar, yes.
yeah. The other one underneath that though one is you hear their voice. So basically though is again though that's to do with the barking and also like say whimpering.
No, I have heard a kind of a woof, woof, just this simple one, nothing spectacular.
Yeah. Another one though is basically those you feel a presence actually like what you were saying earlier on the bed or on the couch.
Yep.
So, and then also be able to sort of see the presence actually out of the corner of your eye, the ones passed away of your pets.
I have never experienced that.
No, okay. All right, right. Again, those like what I was saying earlier before break, those you hear a song or else a song that reminds you actually of them on the radio. There's happy thoughts of them coming in and out actually out of the like out of your mind. You think you're feeling actually fur, which is what you were saying earlier before break, is so that you're feeling actually their fur again leaning against you.
Yes. Yes.
So, all right. And then you receive a new animal, and then all of a sudden you feel the presence actually to do with the pet coming, like your pet that's passed away coming to you. So
Like saying, Mom, why did you do that? I'm still here.
yeah.
I'm still looking after you.
So those are the top 10 though that actually are on the one list though that I found. So yeah. Again,
That's
those
cool.
for everybody though, we hope though that you're not crying at all. So like the beginning actually of the Tonight Show. But yeah, the animals are really high. Again, those like what I was saying in the first part. The one report was saying this, but I don't believe it though. I believe though the animals are like what Eva was saying. There's a higher frequency than what we are. The pets come.
Well, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No.
You struck a chord there, and I was going to say something earlier. And if you think about it, at least in the major religions like the Hindus, and in that line of thought, they do believe in reincarnation, and you can come back as an animal. So I'm thinking, if that's the case, then the energies would have to be higher, or you wouldn't be able to come back as that
Yeah.
particular animal.
Yeah, and that is so true.
So there's that thought too. And maybe the wilder animals, or those that aren't pets, they do have a lower energy, but then again, maybe that's where we learn certain lessons about survival, about love, about a lot of different aspects of the human life, because they are lower and they are looking at life differently than we do. Does that make any sense? Okay. Just a thought.
Yeah, and it's true though. So for our viewers, so type in and let us know what you think, or even let us know by sending actually any messages. Again, our emails are actually at the end. So yeah, you guys can send us emails. So, but again, those our pets though that we've grown up with, though that we love. There's little triggers so that remind us quite a bit about them. And it could go on and on and on. So, but yeah, again though, with the pets that have actually passed on, little triggers. So what are some of the triggers though that you've actually noticed, Eva?
I would say the big one is I would just have to start thinking about them. Just, I don't know. I just start thinking about them. No particular trigger, but I have noticed that I will watch something on TV about cats or about Maine Coons, particularly because, like I said, Kleina was a Maine Coon, or part Maine Coon, and that will trigger it. I don't have any songs that really trigger anything, but on TV, if there's a commercial or something that uses cats and there's one that looks like her, that will trigger me in thinking about her. It's been over 20 years since I've lost her, and I still miss her tremendously. My other cat that I miss tremendously is Luhunji, and lately it's been interesting because a lot of the cat things that come up on Facebook are black cats, and Luhunji was a black cat.
Yeah.
And you have Rocky. I mean, it's like, oh my goodness, black cats. And I think about G, and I miss you, baby. And I just get a nice little warm feeling.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
that's some of the thing though, that I
yeah, we had a tabby before, right? That was with a short time, like I mean, a very short time. And I just find though, like what you were saying though, that we have a black cat, right? Our former cat though that passed away was also black. But
Oh,
I find the black cats are a lot more calming. That's one thing I've noticed though.
really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right. Then the tabby that we had. The tabby that we had, yeah, it was a young kitten. But the thing though is I find their energy is too strong.
Hmm.
Right. I find though that black cats, like tuxedo cats, which is what we have, um, they're a lot more calming.
Hmm.
So
I have found that male cats have a tendency to be more calming as opposed to females.
yeah, it's like that. So, but yeah, like what you were saying though, you miss actually your cats, and that's one thing though that we also miss here. I know a lot of people though that are listening are also probably missing their actually pets altogether.
I know we've
One,
been talking. Oh,
go ahead.
I know we've been talking a lot about cats, but dogs are just as I've talked with different people, and it's like you start talking about your favorite dog, and the next thing you know, these people are crying because they miss their babies.
Yeah,
And maybe they're only there for at the most maybe 20 years if you're lucky. But that's a big chunk of life if you think about it. And you
yeah,
you get that bond with them, and it's like, I miss my babies.
yeah,
I miss
yeah.
my kitty.
So, yeah, no, again, though, for myself, like I grew up with dogs. One of my pets I used to have was a turtle,
Mm.
right?
And what
So,
happened to your turtle?
so what had happened though is I went away for a holiday with my parents to New England, like New Hampshire, and my sibling was supposed to take care of the turtle. Now, there was quite a bit actually from the water to the edge actually of the tank, but somehow the turtle crawled actually down flights of stairs, which was a bungalow, so down to the basement, tried to find me, and passed away down there.
Oh,
So my sibling could not find right where the turtle went at all. The one day she went there to feed him, and he was there. The next day later, she came and he wasn't there. Years later, I found him behind a box. Now that really
oh,
touched me. That touched me. Even today, it still touches me. He knew in the summertime I always slept in the basement, so I think he actually tried to crawl down to the basement because he knew I was actually down there, but he didn't make it upstairs. So, and he was a painter turtle, and his name was Spike.
Spike.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a different name.
because at the time though, I used to play volleyball. So yeah,
Oh, okay, makes sense.
yeah, yeah. But again, though, it was like I still think about him at times.
Oh, I think you do. I mean, like I said,
So,
they may not have been with you for a long, long period of time, like a person, but then again, they have that bond with you, and it's like you can't break that bond.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's my thought anyway.
yeah. No, that's pretty good. So that's where we're gonna leave it tonight. Um,
Okay.
hopefully everybody is okay from listening in, and hopefully you guys think about actually your pets have actually passed away. And again, we would love to hear from you guys and see if you guys had any experiences. So again, though, is type in or actually let us know through emails. So Eve is there
And we go
shaking her
from
head.
there.
Yes. Yeah. So
Yes, yes.
alrighty.
And heading out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, those thanks a lot for everybody tuning in. We will see you guys next week.